Yo, I'm tired of you underestimating me like I ain't the most gifted MC you ever seen. I rob Santa. If you hear this verse, I know you'll be a fan or you'll be repressing yourself like Hannah Montana. Zero ain't ill, you know you was a liar. You looking like a the way you doubt fire, and I'm inspired by desires of getting higher than these fake thugs who never bust shots like a ceasefire. Thought he was a Fuji wearing mask and settle scores. White boy say he's awesome like a Macklemore. Rap game crowning Kendrick the king with covenant, so I'm plotting the coup like the American government. Anime rap say I'm too suspicious. On my bebop, cut you down like vicious. Aaron Yeager and Hiei and one man and cover up my face like the Taliban when I'm executing plans.
I was reading not too long ago, a guy from Michigan. He got a scholarship to play football in Michigan State. And so he didn't want to go to school, but he chose he wanted to be a rapper. Can I have your opinion on that?
It was embarrassing, man. I feel bad for this. I mean, why can't you do both?
Yeah.
Why can't you go to school and be a rapper at the same time? Like, why?
J. Cole did it.
Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand why do you have to choose rap music, something that's not permanent, over getting your education? You have a free ride.
Right.
Do you know how many people in the hood would kill for a free ride to college?
Outside
to college. Any hood. But I'm just saying, specifically, like you're taking advantage of something that you are being given. The other people died to get you to the place where you are given the opportunity to get something like that. And you're saying, well, I want to be a rapper. And you know what I'd like to know is, what kind of rapper do you want to be?
Do you think maybe his decision on that would have been swayed if guys like David Banner, who has a master's degree in education, and like J. Cole, if they rapped about their education and kind of glorified it, rather than continue to rap about, like David Banner raps mostly about Mississippi and like his struggle with how he grew up in. Do you think maybe then he would have been like, oh, I can go, get this full ride, get my degree, and then be a successful rapper in the future?
Yeah, I think so. Because I think hip hop artists, especially mainstream hip hop artists, they have a very swaying opinion. I mean, they have a power that they don't know that they have. So if they was to rap more about some of the positive things they do, like go to school and stuff like that, I think a lot, like if Lil Wayne was to talk about going to school or something, or telling kids to go to school, he has a huge influence. You know what I'm saying? So I think it could persuade a lot of young men to go to school and pursue education or do something more positive than just be a coke dealer or whatever. So yeah.
But does he have a huge influence because of what he raps about though? And like if he rapped about school, will he still have that same fan base?
And if you even listen to him.
And then even still, like, wouldn't you take that as being hypocritical? Because remember, we talked about Gucci Mane going to school, right?
Oh,
remember? Yeah, he was speaking at school, and me and Mike were like, if I had a child at that point in time in that school, I wouldn't want him to go to that class that day because it's very. What are you gonna tell my kid?
Bird.
You know what I'm saying? Sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very hypocritical. Lil Wayne saying, go to school. Well, what did you do?
Kids don't see a future in education because they see these rappers who get famous and rich so quickly. They don't see that with, you go to college for 4 years, right? And then after that 4 years, you don't even know what might happen after that. 4 years in a rap career? You might be from A to Z in 4 years with a rap career. So these kids they don't see anything outside of sports and music as being the easiest way to get money and to get out of that environment. That's really the problem. You don't have anybody telling these children, hey, stay in school, figure this out, and we'll help you. They just say, well,
You know why? Because we don't glorify dentists. We don't glorify doctors.
Hell no, they charge too damn much. We need to glorify teachers.
Teachers.
My mom's a teacher, and it amazes me to this day the fact that football players, baseball players make more money than teachers. It's disgusting. But we look up to LeBron James. For what? For what? Because he can throw a ball in a hoop?
Hello, I have a question and it's kind of directed towards Mike because you kind of contradicted yourself a little bit. People ideally would want to go to school and get an education, whatever the case is, but if they choose rap, it's because it's like an easier way. Like, yeah, it guarantees money, like I have the fame, the money, the shine, all that other stuff. But And then you were saying, why can't he do both? And the reason why I'm asking this question is because I have a friend that she has a dream of being an actor, but she also has a dream of being a doctor. And she wants to move to California, and she feels like she can't do both. She has to choose one because the time that it'll take to put in for school, for medical school, and to get the money to do those same things, the time that it'll take to pursue that career, she won't be able to pursue her acting career the same exact way. And I kind of feel like that's kind of the same situation with the whole rap and the whole school.
When I said that was a bad decision, and then I said that, it's easier to go the rap route versus waiting around for 4 years and then not knowing where you're going, what I was saying was, we don't have anybody telling these kids that you should stay in school because this is a lifelong thing. This is longevity. Rap is not longevity for a lot of these rappers. I don't want to give names, but we've interviewed rappers who were at their heyday making all kinds of money, and now they are doing nothing. They look like crackheads. What I'm saying is, we don't have anybody enforcing the idea of, look, get your education. It's going to be 4 hard years, and it might be 6 hard years because you might have 2 years after that where you're struggling. But when you get that job, when you get that career, that's longevity. But a rapper, how many rappers have more than 5 years in the game before their career is done? I mean, think about it. The rappers that are at the top of their game right now, where were they when you were 10 years old?
Yeah.
And where will they be when you're 35 years old?
If they even make it.
That's what I'm saying. Where will they be when you're 35? They might be crackheads like the people that we've talked to. So I don't take that as a contradiction. What I'm saying is, I feel like there should be people telling this guy, look, you can rap too, but at the same time, make sure you have something to fall back on, because if your career disappears, look at Play from Kid and Play. When his career started to fade, he became a professor because he had education to fall back on. That's what I'm saying. We need more people to instill that idea in these kids. You don't have to do one or other. You can do both. Rap on the side, but still get your education.
And to Mike's point, like, let's be honest, entertainment has a shelf life because entertainment
Right.
is trendy, right? So
Education's not.
Education's not. You can never take what you learned away from you.
Right.
You could take away my career. And to your point with the football player, what's his rap name? Who is he? Does he have a buzz? Is there a start of a rap career there, or is he just saying, I want to forego? Because it's different if you have your foot in the door and it's like, you know what? I can make it big here versus going to school and doing all of this. So I don't know who he is, so I don't think that that's a good decision. I think that when you're trying to make a decision from entertainment to education, I would say go education, because that's gonna give you, like Mike said, longevity.
What's wrong with chasing your dreams?
I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with chasing your dream. You should, but I think that you should try to pursue both. You know what I'm saying? Because if you pursue both and your dream starts to overtake your education, then you run with your dream.
What if he can't do both?
Why can't he?
Yeah, why?
But
Stop telling these kids they can't.
I'm not saying he can't, but what if he can't? In his situation,
why can't he?
Why?
Explain
Give me a
me that.
reason.
I don't know why he can't.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is, if he's obviously made the choice for a reason.
Yes, because being a rapper is the easiest way to make money.
Or you can, if he's really good in sports, he can go to the NFL in 2 years, right? So there's career paths in both. But obviously he
And what
decided.
happens when you break your Achilles or whatever y'all call it?
Yeah,
you pull a hamstring. You pull a hamstring like
Because
people.
without playing college football, let's be honest.
No. That's what I'm saying is that he knows that if he's good enough, if he does do both, he could probably get to the NFL, right? But what's the percentage of players from college that make the NFL? You know,
the same
what's the
percentage of rappers that make it big.
I don't know. So,
Exactly.
but what I'm saying is that he's looking at his life choices ahead of him, and he has a full scholarship to Michigan State, or he could decide to do this. His dream, obviously, is to be a rapper and not play in the NFL. So why shouldn't he focus on what he wants to do 100% and just go for the gusto?
But to FIFO's point, like you said, he has a scholarship in football. There's a foundation for him playing football. With rapping, like FIFO said, I never heard of the dude. It'd be different if I'm like, hey, he got like about 2 or 3 mixtapes. He's buzzing. And then he decided to go into that career. But is he just starting rapping right now, or like is he just starting to get into that lane right now?
He can rap later.
Right,
Why does he have to
Or he
rap
can-
right now?
or-
Right.
Sorry,
You know what I'm saying?
Get
'Cause like,
his education later. You have to pay
The guy
for
with the
it.
voice deeper than yours has a question.
For most black people nowadays, it seems like the easier way, or I don't want to say God gives the talent, but most black, say men or whatever you are, goes for either trying to be a rapper or a professional athlete. You know, you think they'll ever change, you know, for somebody to want to be a doctor and stuff, but most people who come from those backgrounds don't have the money or the foundation that it said to get there.
Yeah.
And like for me personally, yeah, I didn't have all the grades, but I know my talent can get me here to Florida State, and I can play football, and then, you know, learn, get help here. Or say if I do make a pro, you know, most rappers and professional players, they go bankrupt. Now, that's all you see. And you look at it nowadays, the majority of those are black. So I just wanted to like make that statement in, like, what if, like, do you see that improving, or what's your opinion on that?
Hopefully it does improve. I do like what Jay-Z's doing with signing artists, or signing athletes, how he's trying to make financial plans for them so that they don't go broke. You know, I have no idea what exactly he's doing that's beyond my tax bracket, but I'm just saying, if he's successful with that, then it might make a change, you know, because a lot of athletes would flock to Jay-Z as they are right now. But I think that it really comes down to a lot of times with entertainers, football, music, you kind of have nothing, then you have everything. And along that way, you've never learned how to manage. Because a lot of, especially with athletes, right? You're kids. You're 18, 19 basketball. You're 20 as a football player, and you come in and you sign multi-million dollars when you don't even know how to balance a checkbook. You don't know, you've never managed money, and now you have an obscene amount to manage. And now the whole world is at your disposal. And now how do you manage that? Like, how do you go from pretty much having no responsibility to having all of the responsibility in the world?
Gentrificated minds becoming harder to find. That's why I stay on my grind before I run out of time. I'm seeing the finish line of my dreams closer to most, but I pray if I comatose that my heart would have found Zion. Shots to iron. It's funny how time flies when you mixing beats, hella rhymes, but life is ill a trife. My roots planting the sun, but my love, it questions the sun, cause my thoughts of blackness retract with the lyric of every rap. So I run to the nearest booth for enlightenment when it's right to get so recluse in the stool with my crew, hoping to bring you the realness and truth. You gotta open your eyes and read between the lines, cause the enemy's in disguise, cause my arm, leg, arm, head, decided to bring it back to the real, a masterpiece. I'm aiming to kill the whackness that's real in the field, Jack. It's God body. I know you can feel that.
Going back to the Jordan Davis case, I wanted to know what was your opinion on the fact that in Jacksonville there was also a mother that got 20 years for the warning shot, and she had the same judge as like the Zimmerman case. Like, do you think it's the legislative system, or do you think it's like boils down to race?
To have a quick answer, I think it's both. I think it's both Florida, and I think it's also, racial tension there. You know,
What else could it be?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, she didn't shoot anyone.
But she tried to do the stay your ground, but they kind of like repealed. But I think they're going back to like redo it where she can.
But regardless, she did not shoot anyone, let alone kill anyone.
If you have the right to bear arms, then you have the right to defend yourself.
Exactly.
And she defended herself without even harming anybody.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, it should have just, it should have been a no call. All right, cool. Let it go. What's the problem?
I don't get it.
So that doesn't make logical sense.
It's kind of crazy because they said when she went to her car, she should have just left instead of like standing your ground. That's why they didn't let her do the stand your ground, because she got to the car and she could have just left.
So could Michael Dunn.
Michael Dunn. Yeah, I'm about to say, so could Michael Dunn. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a problem with the judicial system here in Florida. Anyway, go ahead.
I find that they don't really promote school education because of the system. It's corrupt. Get your own knowledge outside of that. Like for example, people like Nas, he's very knowledgeable, but he didn't go to school, or to college, rather. So do you think, the message is, being that, this is the white man system, you don't really get a good education, just, learn outside of school? Do you think that's the reason why?
Yeah, I don't think it really has anything to do with that. I think it's very systematic. There's just not a lot of investing in some of the urban areas.
Right.
So, they don't get the education because they don't have the tools and resources there to get it. But you look outside of you look outside of that, you look at other areas that are more fluent, they are graduating and going out and doing better things for themselves. So I think that's what it is more than anything else.
How do you break the system? Is the system money? Is the system education? What is it? You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel like a lot of these established artists are really giving back in a way that can really help. Or at least if they are, they're not publicizing it so that hip hop gets a better perception.
So if we're saying that rap music or the rap, everything is owned by white people, then why are we putting so much responsibility on the artists? Like, how much do we know that they're allowed to put out? There are contracts that say you can't talk about this. You have to talk about this one thing. And so I think that's something that we need to look at, because that's huge. I knew someone who was getting ready to sign, and then when they were about to sign, they told them, you cannot talk about this anymore. If you're gonna come on our label, then you need to talk about this specific message. You need to talk about gangsters and clothing and whatever else. And he said no. And then no one ever really heard anything else from him. And I'm saying, how come we're not looking at that aspect?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think that every artist doesn't have control. And I agree. I think a lot of artists don't have control over their music. But in today's age, like I said, I always tell people stay independent to keep that control. And I think that there are artists now that are signing to major labels like Def Jam that are retaining their control. And beyond the label, look at the distribution, because the distribution is realistically where you're gonna make your money from, because now you're distributing to everywhere. And we don't own our own distribution. That's why I say stay independent, so you have the control over your music, the quality, everything that you want to do.
And also, to answer your question, I think also part of the fans gonna have to not buy into the crap that's being fed on the radio. If the fans want to hear some positive stuff, like you saying, then maybe the record company will be like, well, hey, let's go with that now. So really, you can blame partial on the fans as well, because they loving it, the BS that's being fed to them as well.
The reason I specifically put a lot of pressure on the artist is because the whole thing of the label is telling me I can't do this and I can't do that. It's a dinosaur model. If a rapper in today's society still thinks he needs a label to get hot, then there's something wrong. He needs to pay attention to what's really going on right now. You don't need a label. No one can make you say anything. No one can make you do anything. Now, maybe just don't sign to a huge major label. Sign to a smaller independent label that will not tell you that. Rappers always think, if I want to get successful, I have to get on a major. Yeah, if you want to be able to buy Bugattis and you want to be able to buy these huge mansions, yeah, you may need that, because they're going to put the money behind you to get you to where you need to be to make that kind of cash. But if you want to sustain and you want to have a nice car, a nice house, just not a mansion, you don't need a big famous record label. And they even know that. Record labels even know that. They know they're dying.
The thing about the difference is it comes down to choice, and they choose to sign with these record labels and sign over their rights to say what they want to say. I can't blame the labels for that. It's the artists. And I think that's kind of what Mike is saying. You don't have to do that, especially if you got a buzz. You don't need them. Just continue to work hard and do what you want to do. That's why Macklemore was able to get to the level of success that he's gotten to. He just built it from the ground up, and he's stuck with it.
So your friend did the right thing by saying no to the record label, but tell him don't stop making music.
Yeah, you gotta keep working.
You gotta keep grinding. That's the only way to get it.
Yeah, because now what the label would do with contacts and connections, you have to do on your own. Like when back in the day you had an A&R, setting everything. Like now it's you. Now it's only you. You are your own investment.
So I started making writing some of my own hip hop reviews for projects and mixtapes, albums that I either enjoyed or didn't enjoy, just that I felt like reviewing. And I kind of am interested in making my own blog slash, review website. Some are kind of similar to you guys, and, some other ones out there too. So I was basically wondering if you guys have any suggestions, advice, opinions about that at all.
I think first and foremost, be honest. Be honest to yourself, to however that music or that project made you feel. First and foremost, be honest. Don't let other people sway, like other reviewers or anything that you might have read or heard. Just be focused on what you think and just project that and just be creative with it. You gotta, there's a million bloggers, reviewers. What's gonna separate you? You know what I'm saying? So just kind of keep that in mind.
Yeah, and I established definitely, it's very cliche, but, some goals, and really a plan, because I think that's key. Like when we started out, Rock can tell you, we would sit, and talk for hours, about different strategies and different techniques we're gonna do ourselves to get out there. And, and we would set goals, like how many subscribers we wanna get here. Once we get that, celebrate, and then we go for the next one. Each time we build it more and more, and the number increases. But, I think it just starts there and figuring out what you want to do, how you want to get there, and what are the steps it's going to take to get, for you to get there.
The main thing is, like, I think he kind of alluded to this, but find your voice. What is going to make you any different from the other 35,000 bloggers out there? I'm not trying to dissuade you from doing it. I'm just saying, like, you want to review music and you want to give your opinion about music, but why should someone listen to you over anybody else? You have to really, really think about that. You know what I mean? Find a way to make your reviews different than other people's. That's the advice that I would give you. Like, that's kind of what makes us different. There's a lot of people out there that just go review hip hop, but we're the only ones where you have 4 distinct, different personalities that are talking about one album. So just think about that.
Shut up. Wow. Well,
Well, you guys,
thanks.
it was easy to fill this time. I think that pretty clearly demonstrates that you need to come back. Right? Do you guys all agree?
Yeah.